Let's be honest, most people want to change their lives. They dream about it, talk about it, even promise themselves they'll start tomorrow. But months pass, sometimes years, and nothing really shifts. Why? Because many people imagine change as a moment, like flipping a switch. But real change doesn't work that way. It's slower, softer, at first, almost invisible. You eat healthy once, but the mirror doesn't change. You read a page, but your thoughts still feel heavy. You wake up early, only to quit when you're tired. And then you think, I failed. The truth? You didn't fail. You just misunderstood the process. Change isn't about one big leap. It's about small, repeated steps, showing up even when no one's watching. If you can understand that, you're already ahead of most people. And while we walk through this reflection together, you'll also be gently practicing English, listening to real rhythm, real emotion, real language you can carry into your own voice. We've all said it before. I'll start tomorrow when I feel motivated. Motivation feels beautiful, like a spark of energy. But here's the problem. It doesn't last. One day you're inspired, the next day it's gone. And when motivation leaves, so does your action. That's why so many people quit. They wait for the right feeling, and when it disappears, they stop. But real change doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on discipline. Discipline means doing what matters, even on the days you don't feel like it. Here's a simple shift. Don't wait for motivation, create systems. Lay out your clothes the night before. Set a timer for 10 minutes just to begin. Make the first step so small you can't say no. Because action creates motivation, not the other way around. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the firewood. And firewood keeps burning long after the spark fades. When people struggle to change, they often blame themselves. I'm lazy, I'm weak, I can't focus. But many times, it's not about character, it's about environment. If your room is messy, your phone keeps buzzing, or your friends doubt your goals, of course it feels impossible to stay on track. Your environment can either lift you forward or quietly pull you down. The solution is simple. Fix the space around you. Clean your desk so your mind feels clear. Turn off the notifications that steal your focus. Spend more time, even online, with people who inspire growth instead of draining it. Think of your environment like soil for a plant. No matter how strong the seed, it cannot grow in poisoned ground. But in rich, healthy soil, growth becomes natural. Don't fight with willpower alone. Fix the soil, and the habit grows by itself. One of the biggest reasons people quit is perfectionism. They start a habit, miss one day, and immediately say, I ruined it, I failed, I'm not good enough, and then they give up completely. But perfection is never the goal. Progress is. Nobody lives perfectly. Even the most disciplined people skip workouts, eat junk food, or sleep in. The difference is, they don't let one slip erase all their effort. They simply get back on track. Here's the truth. Something is always better than nothing. If you can't make it to the gym, take a short walk. If you don't have time for a full chapter, read a single page. Small wins repeated again and again are what create lasting change. Think of progress like drops of water on stone. Alone, they seem weak. But with time, they carve valleys. Your habits work the same way. One imperfect day doesn't erase the work. It's just part of the journey. Have you ever tried to change, only to feel others holding you back? Maybe they laughed at you. Maybe they said, "Why are you even trying?" Or maybe they just stayed silent when you hoped for support. That silence can hurt the most. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. Their doubt doesn't define your potential. But here's something to remember. Your energy is shaped by the people around you, Negativity pulls you down. Positivity lifts you higher. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you can choose whose voices you listen to. Fill your world with people who grow, who learn, who aim higher. If you can't find them in person, find them online, through books, podcasts, mentors, or communities. Let their stories remind you of your own strength. It's like climbing a mountain. Some people pull the rope to help you up, others tug it to keep you down. Be wise about who you tie yourself to. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, check their phone, go through the same routine, fall asleep, and repeat. But they rarely stop to ask, what habits are helping me? Which ones are quietly hurting me? That's why awareness is so powerful. It's the first step toward change. Awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you see what was always there. Start by observing yourself, but do it kindly. Notice the words you use when you talk to yourself. Notice what gives you energy and what drains it. Don't judge, just notice. Because once you notice, you can choose differently. Without awareness, you walk in circles. With awareness, you see the crossroads and realize you can take a new path. And that moment, the moment of seeing clearly, is where real change begins. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when life calms down. I'll wait for the new year. I'll begin after this busy week. It feels practical, but it's really just another way of waiting forever. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. Life will always be messy. There will always be stress, distractions, and unexpected problems. If you keep waiting, you'll never move. The perfect time is not later, it's now. Not because today is easy, but because today is the only time you truly have. So, start small. Start imperfect. Start before you feel ready. Progress comes from movement, not from waiting. It's like standing at the edge of cold water. You can keep testing it with your toe, hoping it warms up, but the only way to swim is to jump in. Once you're in, your body adjusts, and you realize the hardest part was simply deciding to begin. Most people set goals. I want to lose weight. I want to learn English. I want to feel confident. And goals are good, they give you direction, but goals alone are not enough. A goal is the destination. Habits are the vehicle that takes you there. If the goal is to lose weight, the habit is eating better and moving daily. If the goal is English fluency, the habit is listening, speaking, and reading every day. If the goal is confidence, the habit is speaking up even when your voice shakes. Too often, people focus on the result, I want to lose 5 kilos. But the system matters more. I'll walk 30 minutes every day. Goals point the way. Habits carry you forward. Think of it like planting a tree. The goal is to see it tall and strong, but the habit is watering it every day. You don't demand the seed to grow, you trust the process, and with time, it does. Failure hurts. Nobody enjoys stumbling or making mistakes. But failure isn't punishment, it's feedback. Every successful person has failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is, they didn't stop. They asked, what can I learn? How can I adjust? Mindset is what turns failure into growth. If you wake up thinking, life is hard, I'll never change, then every setback feels like proof. But if you wake up saying, I'm still learning, I'm moving forward, then failure becomes a lesson, not the end. Comparison makes this even harder. Online, everyone looks confident, successful, happy, but you're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. You don't see their doubts or struggles. Your journey is yours, your speed, your path, your story. Instead of comparing, learn. Instead of judging yourself, encourage yourself. Keep your eyes on your own lane. Because growth isn't a race, it's a direction. Let me end with a story. There was once a man who wanted to climb a mountain. People told him, "It's too high, you'll never make it." But he didn't argue. He simply walked a little every day. Some days the sun was kind, other days the rain was heavy. He slipped, he stumbled, but he always kept moving. Weeks later, he reached the top. And when he looked back down, he smiled. Not because it was easy, but because he hadn't stopped. That's the lesson. Change doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't demand speed. It asks only for consistency. One small step, then another. That's how you change your life for good. And as you've listened today, you weren't just reflecting on change. You were also practicing English, absorbing real rhythm, natural phrases, and emotional language that stays with you. So keep going, keep learning, keep choosing the next step. And if this spoke to you, come back tomorrow. Together we'll keep growing your English and your life, one gentle step at a time.